maneira nós ilustrar na nos televidente na semana passada com o tagging de White Marlin, Balahu, e piscar Balahu, a Biden awanang Rondiaruba. Mita seguro que abo televidente a é roupa interessante. Boa noite, esse aqui é o programa de Santa Rosa tá informar. Awe nós vai apresentar na vossa televidente parte final de full semana. Camina na último, nós logramos uma entrevista com o Dr. Eric Prince, PhD, Chief Research de White Marlin aqui na Aruba. Eta conta com essa aqui abai.
Yes, the project started with us working up in Ocean City, Maryland, and North Carolina on the segment of the White Marlin population that goes all the way north up the U.S. coast during the year. And we wanted to get seasonal movements. So we deployed 17 tags off Ocean City area, and we got 15 transmissions, wonderful data. We actually captured seasonality of the animals because instead of going down south when they migrate in the fall into the teeth of the Gulf Stream, which is quite harsh, they went all the way out to the Mid-Atlantic Ridge on the western side of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and they took a very slow current that goes south about a knot and a half all the way down to the top of South America. Our longest animal was at large for about 150 days and moved a maximum distance of like 2,600 nautical miles in the track, basically ending up at the mouth of the Amazon River in that area where there's a lot of bait. Okay, why we were doing all that in 2007, Venezuela tournament with Joan Vernon was having its best record-breaking encounter with white marlin in that tournament. They were breaking records. And that threw a wrench into the works in terms of understanding what the stock status is. How many stocks of white marlin are there in the Atlantic Ocean? Right now we analyze them all as if they're in the total Atlantic, all of them. But I was surprised to see that many white marlin at the top of South America while fishing was so good off Ocean City, Maryland. It confused us. And so we wanted to get down here. Our initial plans were to go into La Guaira and Playa Verde and do it out of there, but the political situation changed, number one, and since that 2000 record-breaking experience, they haven't experienced Venezuela as a country. It hasn't been catching white marlin, and neither have you, really. So it's taken us a couple of years, 3 trips down. This is the last of 3 trips to try and find out where the animals in the fall down here move. Are they going to the same place where the animals on Ocean City, or are they 2 separate groups? Sort of a working hypothesis was that both animals in the fall, sets of animals, are at the northern extreme of their range during the fall migration period. I speculated, total speculation as hypotheses go, that it's possible that this group would move east and then move down the coast of South America into the Brazilian area, in Brazil, below Recife, for example. There's a lot of white marlin down there. And they would come up during the end of the season. Up here is the farthest north they would go, and then the other group would go up all the way up the U.S. East Coast. Now that was what we were trying to test. Unfortunately, white marlin all of a sudden became extremely rare. They're still overexploited. ICAT just did a brand new assessment in 2012. They absolutely are still overexploited, and I'm a little concerned as to why the fish on the top of South America in terms of white marlin disappeared in the fall months. Now, that's an issue. Venezuela, as you know, has been the pinnacle of recreational fishing for white marlin, but the population has been cut down significantly. That could be one reason why there's so few fish. So this was the last of 3 trips to just try and tag maybe a dozen fish. And we got 5 this week. Oh my gosh, that's much better than I ever dreamed we'd do. So we're really happy. And that's what we want to see. Hopefully we'll get some really good transmissions from these fish and really get a hold on what's going on. Up to this point, the few fish that we have had down here that have transmitted to the Argo satellite system have shown us that they're going both ways. They're going toward Colombia, and some of them are moving east a little bit. and that's about. And we haven't had long. We quite frankly haven't been doing the best job we could do on the tagging part, and so we're hoping a better tag placement and a few more precautions results in better tag retention. So we'll have the answer to these questions. 2 or 3 that either went east or slightly north even during the 180-day transmission monitoring period that we desire. Now, there's a lot of premature pop-ups because the steel pin in the nose of the tag undergoes sort of metal fatigue for a while when the fish are really active. But we've got some very nice transmissions, 120-day transmissions, that show some movement in the eastern direction. If we can get a couple of fish to go 150 days and get lucky, then we might really get closer to understanding what the movement patterns are of the white marlin on the top of South America. And of course, Aruba is right in the middle of all that. My colleague in Venezuela just emailed me that nobody has seen a white marlin. All they're doing is blue marlin, and actually sailfish even are in an abundant off the La Guardia Bank. So, white marlin seems to be really scarce, and it's troubling to me. A lot of countries taking them as a bycatch on longliners, targeting the tuna and swordfish, and they're catching the white marlin incidentally, but they have for many, many years. And I'm hoping it hasn't just kind of caught up with the population and they're really depressed now. But we'll see. In any case, they are officially overexploited as ICAT's conclusion, and they need some management. And it's great that this tournament here is catch and release, and is not doing any harm, additional harm to the population, and that's critical. And recreation anglers love to catch them, so they don't have to kill them to have a great day on the water. So, but that's where the status is. We hope to continue working with the tournament, and I discussed this with Eric and Joan Vernon. So we may come back down here next year and tag a few more, depending on if people are seeing them and it's worthwhile to do that. We'd love to do that. Okay, the other part of the answer to where are the white marlin could be a key in terms of the climate change that's really affecting all the surface temperatures, and that could be one of the reasons why the fish aren't up here, for some reason. And so it affects not only affects the temperature of the surface of the water, but also affects the oxygen minimum zone, which is really now confined to the central Atlantic area, in the equatorial waters primarily, but it's spreading and getting bigger, which means the lack of oxygen down deep pushes all the high oxygen demand species, and billfish are among all those that need a lot of oxygen, up to the surface of the water. There's a preponderance of longline effort in the central Atlantic Ocean, and therefore, by definition, they're killing roughly 93% of the white marlin mortality in the Atlantic Ocean comes as a result from longliners targeting other species, but these are caught incidentally. And the removals of white marlin in the central Atlantic could in fact be impacting how many you're seeing here in South America, top of South America, and particularly in Aruba. We hope that's not the case. Time will tell, and we'll see as climate change progresses, global warming increases over time, the trend will become very clear pretty soon. In the meantime, if we can come back here and tag some more fish, some more white marlin, that would be great for next year.
Una persona hobby importante, cu fulle Simán tabata capitán de iate Naira, camin de equipo de Santa Rosa, tabata a bordo. Senhor Jimmy Marlin, que conta tiki de sua experiência.
Well, no, saí de 2 viajes com nós hacía e de que aqui nós temos hobby mais éxito, passou tagging by hobby mais melhor comparado com o ano passado. Não, aqui vai como mothership está com a nossa carga doctrina riba bota, então orna chama nós vai buscando pescar, então nós manobrar que bota, então põe satélite na curva, saca sangue com tudo com. De meu caso, me te quero assim, porque tagging mesmo sali melhor comparado com o ano passado. O ano passado tem par de chiquito, par na bingo outro gente com nós sali bom, então aqui lá sali hobby melhor. E pescar vai hobby mais na vida. E para mim essa música ela vai bom.
Agora nós também mostrar na nossa televidente algum portrait com agora tomar de full research e tagging com a toma lugar arriba la mais grande. Parte do Departamento de Agricultura, Cria e Pesca Santa Rosa e sua diretora, senhora Nathalie Maduro, também a palavra de imenso gratitude na senhor Eric Manzur, senhor Abincho Manzur e também capitão Jamie Marin, que a permitir a equipe de Santa Rosa arriba iate para fazer filmação. Agricultura, Cria e Pesca. Nos endenan, nos cultura, planta ave y cosecha mañana. Donando valor na noción de terra, o asá de seguir nos tradición.